Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the show. John Henry Soto here, along with George Batista, and we are going for some space today. We're going to talk about some dilemma. This is a space for real conversations about creativity, purpose, perseverance. We sometimes interview great artists here who share what it truly takes to keep creating and evolving. The goal here is pretty simple: to inspire you to stay committed to your craft and to use your work to uplift and help others. If you're building something meaningful, you're in the right place. So welcome in, everyone. Thank you so much. George, hello there, sir. How are you?
Hello, sir. I'm fantastic. I'm as loose as a goose on juice.
Good. Wow, that was good. That was very poetic. Like you're like P. Diddy.
or Dr. Seuss.
Dr. Anyway, how's everybody doing? It's Sunday. It is March 1st. We are getting ready. Can you imagine March 1st? I mean, it seems like every year we say that, but it's sort of like it goes by so fast. I can't believe it. March 1st, we're already here. We have Kimberly is on with us. Hello, Kimberly. Oh, wait, I just shared it.
I put it in, that's why.
Oh, I see. Hello, Kimberly. Welcome in. Thank you.
Hello, Kimberly.
George Batista. He is Kimberly has jumped into my morning show every once in a while.
Ooh,
and had some
sounds like a violation.
Yeah. And she's really, really awesome. So thank you, George.
Oh, she's an LPN.
Yes. And
cool.
George is a what are you, George?
I'm a wellness coach, nutrition expert, supplement expert, all that type of stuff.
Yeah, so we've been doing a lot of stuff, and we got Mike Shields here, so it's fascinating.
Nice.
He knows what the deal is. You know what it's about. So today George and I are going to break down a few things that have happened to us. So when we started doing this 6 years ago now, almost 7, the goal that we wanted to do was to have a show about Star Trek. That was our main purpose. It was like, and we called it Counterparts, and we had we did 15 episodes. We had some guests on there that were from Star Trek, and it was really a lot of fun. And then as we were going, we realized that our conversations were going from Star Trek to real world things. We were really tied into that. And it was like, no matter what we did, we would talk about an episode of Star Trek. We always attached it to what was happening in the real world, in life. Because we do actually know that Star Trek's not real.
What?
We're not crazy. But it is real. We just don't know it yet.
Mm-hmm.
And so we ended up just shifting to interviewing guests, and we had some wonderful guests here. We had Lee Haney, 8-time Mr. Olympia. We had Steve Smith, drummer for Journey, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, other Rock and Roll Hall of Fame artists that we've had, and award-winning actors. And we've had George has had like medical professionals, like the top medical professionals in different fields. And so we fell into all this stuff.
Yeah.
And who knew? But then as we were doing it, we were like saying, man, we really missed talking about Star Trek. It says who? Yeah, exactly, right? It says who? It is real. But we decided, you know what, we're gonna actually start another Star Trek journey. And George, you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so we just out of nowhere we decided, you know what, we can go back to Star Trek because I'm, just so you guys know, I am a Star Trek geek fanatic.
Yeah, like I love Star Trek, but George is at the level where it's a different level.
I could have written for the show,
Yeah.
and somehow I feel like I did in some. But anyway, but I've loved Star Trek since I'm a kid. Um, so when we did our first, what was it, 15 episodes of Star Trek, we had a lot of fun doing it, and got into a lot of good discussions and things like that. For those of you, by the way, who haven't seen those, you can just type in Counterparts on YouTube, and you can see our old episodes that we talked about different Star Trek, episodes and things. But so we decided we wanted to go back to that. So we're gonna. So we literally made up a brand new, YouTube channel, and we had it. We came up with a name, and we said, let's throw that in there and just have some fun with it, whatever. And we started. I think we did our first episode, right? And out of nowhere, now just so you know, this happened twice, right? Because the first time, all of a sudden, we got taken down
Completely. Like no warning either. Like
Yeah,
usually you get a flag or something.
right. So we were like, I was like, wow, and it actually had a warning on the top of something about a violation or something. We had no idea what it was. So we were like, okay. So then John started doing some research and figuring out, maybe the names, of it's another podcast that does this type of stuff. So we figured, okay, let's change the name and something completely different. And we did that.
Right. We had Trek. What was it first? We had Trek Talks or something like that. Talk
Yeah,
Trek?
it was Trek. Well, we had Trek Tales, but that was
Trek Tales.
right.
Yeah.
Boldly Gone was the name of the thing, right? So we figured we'd be safe.
I still have the thing.
There it is. Look at that. Boldly Gone, the Trek Tale. So we figured, okay, we're pretty safe with that, right? So I said, okay, so John changes the name. And I said, okay, I'm going to now do a new YouTube channel because we wanted to start one fresh. We figured we'd just do all Star Trek stuff there, and we could do the other stuff on the other channels. So we came up with a whole new thing. I even came up with different new email addresses and everything, started a whole new account. So we started
all the graphics. I did all
John did all the graphics,
logo, everything.
So we started doing a couple of shows of that. And at the same time, I'm uploading older shows. This way it can kind of all be together in one whole Star Trek thing. And so we do couple of shows of that. And then one day I go to, I guess it was to log in or something, maybe to upload something. And it's not letting me in. So I'm like, what's happening? What's going on? It's literally like nothing was coming up. So I said, so let me search it. So I go to search it and literally it's gone. I mean,
I was looking
nothing.
for it too. I was like, it's gone.
No warning. Nothing. So, I mean, at least the first time there was something on the top. This time it was literally gone.
They're just like, you know what? This is your final frontier.
Yes.
We are done with it.
And the thing is, we don't know why.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. And that was the frustrating part of it, was that, because we were, I wasn't getting rid of my other channel, the one that we're on right now. This was a brand new thing that we were starting, and it was going to be just dedicated to the episodes. We did a great one. Do we still have that somewhere now, or is it completely gone?
No, we have them. They're just not up there.
Yeah, we did a great one on an episode, the Inner Light.
The Inner Light, right.
That episode which we love, from The Next Generation. And we did a whole episode on that, which was so much fun. And it was such a good episode. We thought when we finished that episode, we were like, man, that was a home run. We nailed so many things on it. And we had, some facts, but we also had introspective views about it and stuff, and spirituality. I mean, we really dissected that episode so nicely, You're out of here. They photon torpedoed our asses.
So true. And the thing is that this is the weird part about this, is that it's Star Trek, right? That because you figure Star Trek is probably one of the safest things you could talk about. Okay,
well, that's the thing. Also, that's the thing that I didn't understand. It wasn't like we were talking about politics.
Right, like for me, right? Because I have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Right, I have a YouTube channel that's been around for some years now, and it was around during COVID. And I had a couple of doctors that came on and talked about what was going on during COVID, and those got taken down. Okay. But I could understand it because at the time that was what was going on, right? They were trying to take down a lot of those things that were alternatives to what was going on in the world. But Star Trek doesn't make sense to me. That's what I don't understand. I don't understand how we violated anything. We weren't using any copyrighted material. So it's just doesn't it just I still don't know. I'm still to this day I'm just baffled.
I think there's a couple of things that happened. By the way,
It's you.
JohnHenrySoto.com. If you go there, you can get to our YouTube YouTube page. So here's one of my theories, right? As I'm trying not to cough.
Don't cough. Tuberculosis.
Oh, this damn COVID will not go away. Longer COVID. No, never mind. All right. So I have two theories.
Okay.
Right. The first one is that there was another thing that I saw that wasn't called Boldly Gone. It was called Boldly Go.
Okay.
I don't know, but maybe that page was upset and reported us.
Yeah,
That's
but even
theory number one, which is a week. Which is weak.
Because there's got to be thousands. I mean, think about how many YouTube channels there are, and think about how many of them sound exactly the same.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, wasn't there a counterparts?
There was there was something. Yeah. But here's the thing. Here's what I really think happened. We came on pretty strong with a lot of stuff.
Right.
You know, we had the song, right? Did I keep the song up here? No, I think I got rid of it because I was so upset. No, I still have it right here.
You were using maybe we couldn't use that.
Well, that was from a free website. It was from a free website that you can download. It wasn't like I didn't get it from StarTrek.com. You know what I mean? It was there. I didn't I didn't download it from Scotty's cell phone. You know what I mean? It was a free thing. Right. As a matter of fact, all the sound effects, and I think I had put a bunch of sound effects in here. I don't know if you remember. I put a bunch of them, maybe not. Did I put a bunch of? Yeah, I put a bunch of sounds in here. I took them all out actually, but that were sound effects.
Okay.
Sound effects that were from Star Trek. All of the beaming down and all that stuff. The all that stuff. So I think that we came out so strong that a lot of other pages, Star Trek pages, started reporting us.
I mean, but we did through what 2 or 3 episodes?
Yeah, and then they're like,
"These
guys are way too good." And they saw the Inner Light episode. They were just jealous. They were jealous. That Inner Light episode. Listen. I got nothing against the Star Trek people that do their shows. We've seen them. George watches one religiously all the time. I can't get through an episode, but I do respect them. Yeah, exactly. Somebody said here it's called trolling. They're trolling us. So what I think is that we came out, we did a great episode. We not only that's the thing, that's the difference that we're bringing to the table. We're not just talking about Star Trek because we're Star Trek guys and we know, like the combination that Kirk put into the safe when, you know what I mean? We don't know what star date from what episode is. I don't know that. I know that there are people out there that do know that.
True.
That's star date 24, but they know that, because that's that. I get it that we're not at that level, no. But what we are in is we're into the stories that captured the imagination of the audience. Right. That's what always triggered for us. That was what we really loved. And so when we started really following Star Trek and started doing these episodes, we weren't doing it by looking at it like, okay, this episode is about this and we're going to talk about the episode. Okay, yeah, we talk about the episode, but we also talk about the impact that the episode had. Why was this episode good? Yeah. And the Inner Light was an episode that I thought was like just brilliantly written, done so well, and well acted, and then it makes you think, of your own mortality and
Right.
where you fit in life. Am I in real life right now? Is my life about to begin? Different dimensions that people talk about. There's so many things that the episode brought to the surface
Right.
that we put out there that I think that those Star Trek people, it drove them nuts because they're there talking, making their inside jokes, which we do that every once in a while because
Sure.
we tell a joke that only you get,
True.
but it's I think that's anyway. That's a theory that I have
That's
because how
possible.
in the world when there's like how many pages are there on YouTube? Billions? There's a billion people watching, right? Every day, somebody creates a new YouTube channel. Every single
Right.
day. I don't know
Right.
how many, but I'm sure that there's a lot of them. ChatGPT could probably tell me, right?
Right.
And you're going to tell me that just these two guys, these two Puerto Ricans from the Bronx, created a YouTube channel 2 times, and those two had to be taken down? Like they were the ones we went over the edge. We took it too far without any explanation. They took us down. Come on, there's something else going on. There's a
But then
conspiracy.
you would okay. But then if you go with that, right? But then wouldn't they?
I'm not if.
No. But let's say wouldn't they also target my channel, your channel, and also the counterparts episodes that we did initially that were all
Correct.
Star Trek that were still up.
Correct.
But they didn't.
This
They
person
didn't do
here
that.
on TikTok says exactly. Hook, what's up? It says exactly. There's always room for anyone who does it. There's YouTube has. Listen, I follow. I'm into the mafia stuff, right? I watch a lot of. I follow a lot of
Right.
mafia
Right.
channels. Sammy the Bull Gravante. I follow his channel.
Right.
I follow and just a bunch of them like that. They all basically saying the same thing. They're different perspectives. Sometimes they actually interviewing ex-mob guys, but they're all basically talking about the same thing. The content is the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody is better than. And I mean, it depends. I mean, some people are better, but my point is that you know we're not reinventing the wheel,
Correct.
or maybe the wheel we invented is so good that it's gonna outrun all their little rinky dink pages when they're talking about uniforms of the Star Trek and they're talking about the new season of this, and I don't know if it's gonna be any good, and that's not really what we talk about because we dive in.
Yeah.
We dive into conversations. We dive into the true of what what this episode means, and why is it so relevant, and why did we pick it, and then we talk about the actors and their performances and their lives and stuff. No, man, they're out to
Well, you know what what the test would be is if
do
we
another,
did what?
do another one.
No, 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 not that. But I'm saying if we did an episode like that on this channel.
Yeah, then they take down my page.
Well, hey.
No,
This
I
is
just
the
started
cost
my
of doing
YouTube channel.
business,
It
my
just
friend.
started to get going. Yeah, I know, right? I know. I'll be like, all right, folks, so we're gonna talk about Star Trek.
There's someone at the door, John. FBI.
They're like, Mr. Soto, come with us. They beam me up somewhere. I'm like, I was beaming a thing.
It's like Scully and Mulder.
So yeah, I mean that's what I think. It's a bit of a comedy of errors coming into this today. We're
It's
kind of
just so
making jokes about it,
yeah,
but
it's just so weird
it is
because
a little
again,
bit weird because the algorithms that are out there. There's so many copycat bots
yeah,
that are out there. You get strikes sometimes for things that you're like, what? I didn't do that. You know what I mean? There's so many things that could have come, but this just a whoosh, a clear wipe with no explanation or no email. No, I don't know. Did you check your email to see if you
no,
got
I checked the emails that I made, which all go to the same box, by the way,
right?
because I just made separate emails and
Right.
my
Just
same
pointed
thing.
them.
Nothing. I got nothing. So, and again, I go back to the thing of my channel, which has hundreds of videos of health and wellness. You would think that, okay, yeah, I could see them suppressing that stuff. But I mean, why wouldn't they just cut me off, especially because I had 2 strikes during COVID times.
Right.
And they didn't cut me off. I got 2 warnings on that, but that was it.
That's what I'm saying. This is why this is so strange, and unfortunately, YouTube doesn't have a call center that you can call them,
True.
and it's like
Complaint.
it's not, I don't like that. It's like, Hook, if you wanted to go to our YouTube channel, it's just John Henry Soto's show on YouTube, and then you can see both of us and you can interact there as well if you like to do that. Either way, but she was saying it's like Star Wars, star people who are into Star Wars and what they do, you know, everything such. Yeah, so we could still come up with there's so many different. This person said, "I joined everything John Henry Soto everywhere." She's,
Oh my God. That's a little
Thank you.
obsessive, don't you think?
Thank you very much.
It's like, I'm not going to be ignored, John.
I appreciate that support. Thank you so much.
John, I'm at the front door.
Yeah, a true fan. So, I mean, to be fair to Star Trek, right? We all know that Star Trek, we don't own the rights to Star Trek, right? I mean, we don't own the
If we
rights.
did.
Yeah. So, we're not there. We weren't on the table with Paramount. And, we weren't we didn't win any, but one of the things that is the most frustrating is just not being given a warning.
Right.
Like,
That's
the fact that
weird.
they would have said, you don't own these rights.
Right.
Therefore we are destroying you. Then that's one thing, but just the way it was done, it was just kind of annoying, and it's just not, and it's not censorship, because I know sometimes we get into the censorship thing. This is different. They weren't censoring. We weren't talking. Our episodes are vanilla,
right,
for the most part. I mean, George and I will get together and we'll do a show on Rumble where we won't get censored, but and we'll talk about whatever we want to talk about there. But for the most part, yeah, it's not stuff that's going to really get us banned at this point. You know what I mean? We're pretty, we pretty not learned our lessons, but we just don't care anymore.
Yeah, true.
So I wrote something here. After losing 2 accounts and spending more time, well, we didn't even appeal decisions. I was thinking about that. We should have. I mean, I don't even know where do you appeal. There's no phone number. There's no like 1-800 YouTube.
But the thing is that in order to appeal, like I remember when I had those strikes, right? There was stuff I had to do on the back end to kind of get back into YouTube's good graces faster, right? So they literally had like, take a course in ethics, and I'm like, yeah, okay, but there was stuff
really had all that. Wow.
Yeah, they actually show you what you can do. It's wild to kind of get back. So, but the thing is that I couldn't even get into there was no account to get into.
That's what I'm saying. It's just completely gone.
That's what was weird about it.
So yeah, that is very weird. One of the things that really, because we're dodging photon torpedoes here now, and now I don't even know what we're gonna do, because we like being in Starfleet, and we were good at our jobs.
Yes.
I was never late. I was late once, but that was, there was like, there was an Eon storm that we were passing by. It hit one of the side things, and a lot of electrical stuff was happening on the ship, and my alarm clock, and it was a good alarm clock. It's one of those, GE alarm clocks. It malfunctioned, and I didn't wake up in time. So I got up. I was about 20 minutes late for my shift, and I do the overnight on the deck.
It's amazing that there's a GE alarm clock on a starship.
I was surprised, but you know what? GE made such good products that these things still work in that century, 21st century or 23rd, whatever it was. But yeah, and that was the only time that I was ever late. And we, George, he was in sick bay. He worked at, with the doc there and stuff like that. He would draw blood. He would, those little.
Yes.
He would calibrate those. That was like his job, was to calibrate them.
Yeah, that was the calibrator.
Yep, he was a calibrator. He was a good calibrator.
I was one of the best in Starfleet.
Yeah, he was one of the greater calibrators, is what they used to say.
I was a master calibrator.
He was a master calibrator. He was one of the better calibrators, and it was so we liked it. So in order to get our Starfleet license back, we have to now figure out, like, I don't know, what do we do? Y'all tell us, what do you guys think we should do? Should we just try again and now have a completely different name and just call it like, and maybe not use the word Trek?
But initially we used just Boldly Gone, and then you eventually put in Trek Tales. But
Maybe
again, there's other channels that use Trek. It can't be a Trek.
They're channels that are established. They're making money for YouTube. We're just starting out. So if you got a channel that has 1 million followers and YouTube is banking on it because they're putting out their ads, we're just coming out. You know what I mean? We're two ex-cadets that got demoted and released from Star Trek. It's like, I don't know what the
I think we should just join the Maquis.
They would take us.
They would take us. Well, they'll take anybody at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'm desperate enough yet to go that route, because I know the Cardassians called, and normally you think that the Cardassians only hire Cardassians, right? But they don't. No, they don't. They actually do recruit outside people. It's sort of like the Federation. We had Worf.
Right.
And Worf was a Klingon, and there was a time when we would never put a Klingon in Starfleet.
True.
Let alone on the bridge.
True.
So, but we got around, and now the Cardassians are actually doing that as well.
Yeah, like Kim, she's crazy.
Kim is like, when I saw her, I went down, I was walking, I was heading to sickbay actually because I needed to get a shot. And, there's that irritation again down there. So I'm walking to sickbay.
That you got from the other Kardashian.
Yeah. Those Kardashian women are. You got to really, really scrub. Anyway, I was heading down there to sickbay, and I saw her, and we chatted a little bit. It's like no hard feelings. We dated a little bit. It's all right. It was a different time. When you're on a starship, I look good because have you seen some of the Cardassians that come on ship?
Yeah, very true.
Yeah,
very true. You're like freaking George Clooney compared to.
Yeah, I see the Mia Goodall, and it's like no chance. Of course, if Picard walks in or Kirk.
Yeah, well,
or Riker.
Yeah,
Riker doesn't talk to me. He doesn't even know I exist. One time I'm on the bridge, right, and I'm doing my night shift, and it's a late night. It's pretty slow. I do the overnight in case anybody knows. I'm on the bridge, or I was on the bridge before I got let go. But so I'm on the bridge. I'm checking scans. I'm scanning stuff, and so I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my reports. I'm sending them out there, and he walks in. Now normally, he starts his shift he gets there around 7:30 in the morning. He kind of just does walk through, and he has his reports that he has to fill out, whatever. So he comes in, and I'm sitting there, and I'm kind of surprised because normally I'm kind of leaving, and I'm usually heading down. He's heading up. I rarely see the guy, and he's always late. Right. Nobody would say it because the people are afraid. They were afraid of him, but he's late a lot. Like he's supposed to be there at 7. He'll be there like at 7:15, 7:10.
And he hasn't been written up yet.
Well, Picard and him, they're like this. They just they don't.
Something wrong with that. Yeah,
they just things like that. They don't really report because they've been through so much together. It's like, all right, you're 10 minutes late, whatever. But anyway, he comes in, so I kind of did a double take because obviously I don't see him often. You know what I mean? So I went like that. I'm like, oh, and I say, good morning, sir, and he's like. He didn't say. He just kind of waved, and he went right to the chair, and he sat in the captain's chair, which he normally he would sit, but the captain wasn't there, so I guess he's in command. But he sat in the captain's chair, and since I've never seen that before, I was like, oh, he's sitting in the captain's chair. So I was like, and I just finished thing. I put out my report, and then when I was leaving, I'm thinking, okay, let me not be, let me be nice, you know what I mean, and just let me just say something. So as I was leaving, I was like, "Have a good day, sir." And he was reading a thing, and I swear, I'm not even making this up. He's reading a thing, and I'm like, have a nice day, sir." And he goes, he's like tapping something. He looks up at me, and he kind of just went look tapped up. Didn't even acknowledge me, which I hear he's a really nice guy, but I'm the overnight.
You know what's interesting about that though? That it seems that people who are in on that level tend to have those reactions, because I remember my interaction with Mr. William Shatner. And this is okay.
Yeah.
This has actually happened. Mr. Captain Kirk came out.
By the way, Hook here says, listen clearly. You need to stop by my office at Deep Space Nine for some counseling. So I'm going to make an appointment because I could definitely use some counseling.
You need counseling, definitely. But I've been telling him that for 50 years. But
I love that.
But anyway,
okay.
So Mr. Shatner's walking out. He was doing an interview. I think he was doing an interview with Howard Stern actually that day. And he came out, and I just happened to be walking by with a Star Trek magazine with him on the front. I don't know how that happened, but what are
the odds of that?
With the odds of that, just walking exactly by when he comes out.
Unbelievable.
And I went up to him and I said, "Oh, well, since I'm here, could you possibly sign this?" And he made a scribble on it basically, and I still have this in my book, by the way. And then I went to ask him a question about, because he actually had written a book back then. So I went to ask him the question about writing the book, and he just kept walking and ignored me. And I said, "Wow, that was very William Shatner."
Don't they say don't meet your heroes?
Bastard.
And
so that was my encounter with Mr. Captain Kirk, who I still love, by the way.
Oh yeah. We still love Captain Kirk. I mean, it's he's got a lot of pressure on him. All these captains do.
It's that whole
But they also say you don't want to meet your heroes, right? Because
But you see, but then you've met heroes that have been absolutely
I've met heroes that
have
been unbelievable.
All right, the same thing. Okay, but the same place. I don't know why. It just happened to be when I'm walking by when my other hero comes out, Mr. Chuck Norris. Okay. And he was the nicest guy. I mean, just I would cool.
think if you ask the average person who would be the friendliest person, Chuck Norris or William Shatner, I'm guarantee you that 99% of the time, people are going to say Chuck Norris.
Of course, know it for it's just a reputation.
It's a reputation there. So
people wrote books about how they hated William Shatner. They wrote books about
writing a book about what a not a nice man he is. He's still going strong. He's 94 years old, still working, still doing stuff.
He's still he's like, I got the last laugh. I'm outlasting everybody.
Yeah, he's like, I ain't going nowhere, mofos. But yeah, they do say you don't want to meet your heroes. But like I said, I've met some incredible people, and they were just so generous and so kind with their time. I met Captain Sisko once.
Did you?
When we docked over at that Deep Space Nine, because we had to actually get some supplies. Because Lloyd from Deck 1.
Oh yeah, yes.
Yeah, Lloyd forgot to order like pickles. Apparently, the you need to actually have a special card that the replicators could actually make pickles, and that card malfunctioned, so we had to get another one, and he forgot to order it, so we had to go all the way down to Deep Space Nine to get one and then get refitted for pickles. Just pickle
refitting.
Pickle refitting. And I tell you what, he was in a pickle, and he was not, he was but anyway, we went there and I saw Sisko, and I said hi sir, and he said, hey, how are you, where are you coming from? And I was like, oh, I'm on the ship here on the Enterprise there. And he goes, oh, what's your what do you do? And I was like, oh, I do the overnight on the bridge. communications. And he was like, "Oh, well, great, great, great." He goes, "Well, good luck, nice meeting you." And he shook my hand and he walked away. But I was like, "Yes, I got to meet a real captain. It was awesome."
I think I know why they cut out our YouTube channel. I don't know. It just came to me. I don't know.
Mental illness.
Yeah, pretty much. I think I have a feeling.
You know who was actually nice? Quark.
Really?
Yes, I know.
I heard it was quirky, but
I heard everybody would think, "Oh, he's not," but no, he was very nice. Gave me his drinks and stuff. He tried to sell me like some stuff, but I wasn't gonna buy anything. I kind of know his reputation already. But anyway, so we're getting some messages here.
And they're giving us suggestions on what we should do.
Between Chuck and Shatner, I pick Leonard Nimoy. Yeah, I don't blame you. That's a good pick.
That is a good pick.
Well, that is not as bad as having your holodeck beach program changed to Volcano Alley.
I hate when that happens.
That's rough. Yeah, that'll burn. Yeah, she says no. Quark is a shinester. He is,
Yeah,
but he didn't. He seemed pretty nice there. So gave me a drink.
It's all about money with him.
It's all about money. He doesn't care about anything else. So anyway, one of the things that I don't think people are really saying if we should do another episode or anything. I don't really know. Oops.
But again, we would have to do the whole thing
again. Please try again.
But I'm trying to find a way to do it differently.
Well, how about, and this, I thought of this as we were talking right now. What was the name of our first thing that we ever did that was Star Trek related?
Counterparts.
Bring it back. Just bring it back. We have the stuff already. We can put all those episodes in there. They all say counterparts on it. We don't have to change anything, and it'll be just a completely different connection to that. Matter of fact, we don't even have to say Star Trek. Counterparts could be our thing where we talk, we'll talk Star Trek, we'll talk Star Wars if you want to go with that mess. We'll talk.
Hey. Stop that. Some of us like Star Wars.
I'll tell you what, I did a show in the morning and I mentioned something about that and I got torn a new one.
I will tell you. I mean, Star Trek to me is number one.
I said I cannot sit through.
And again, you cannot compare something that you have not watched all the way through.
But I tried. I couldn't get through episode one.
But then you
the worst thing I've ever seen.
No, it's
so
come
bad.
on, John. Really?
It was so
I'm
bad.
not talking again.
I tell you what, it was that one and then Porky's. That's how bad. I would actually. I think I would rather watch. Yeah, and Ishtar. Ishtar was way up there. I mean, I much prefer Ishtar. But
this is okay. But this is what. Okay, let me ask you a question. But going to the Star Wars thing, you saw 3, 4, and 5, which was the first ones that came out, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. You enjoyed those, correct?
Here we go. We've had this conversation before.
No,
it's not just you.
Okay,
either.
but you know what? People
trying to get me into this.
People need to chime in on this because they need to hold you accountable, my friend.
Somebody said we should call it Wormhole Chronicles. That sounds perverse.
That's a good one, Wormhole. I like that.
I like it too. Wormhole Chronicles. Another one was
sounds a little, I don't know.
Alpha Ceti 5.
Alpha Ceti 5. That's actually a good band.
That's a good name for a band. You're right.
We should have named that.
Yeah.
Alpha Ceti 5 because it's Daystrom Institute.
Right.
There was a friend of mine used to have a band. I don't know if he's still in it, but his band was called Echo Station, which was from something from Star Wars. Actually, he was a big Star Wars fan. But good band, by the way. Anyway, so I'm just gonna say, and I'm not gonna get into it with you again because we've done this. But I'm just gonna say that you need
a whole show on it.
No, you need to watch 4, 5, and 6. I'm 1, 2, 3. Yeah, no,
I did watch 4, 5.
No, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, and 8.
Well, wait a minute.
He doesn't even know how many of them there are.
No, if it's 1 to 8, right? Is there 8 episodes?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, sorry, 9.
Okay, so if it's 1 to 9, if I start on episode 1,
don't Don't do that.
Shouldn't I be able to take the whole story to the end? Isn't that
Well,
what? Isn't
well,
that the?
you can't.
Hold on, Mister. Hold on, Mister Lightsaber. Is it? Isn't it that the chronological order that it should be in? Yes or no?
Am I under oath? Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. So
Okay.
that I like to. Matter of fact, I took the Marvel movies and I watched from the chronological.
And
the
you love every
23
single one of them, right?
23 films, and I
And I
watched.
can't sit.
And
I can't sit through all of them.
what I liked was the fact that they were in order, and you can see what things that were going on. It was like a nice long soap opera, but
Okay.
absolutely
Well,
not.
Star Wars is the same way.
But if I have to start, I go, all right, start at episode 5 first, and then go to 7, bring it back to 2, but only the half, and then start at halfway through 3, then go to 9, then go to 1. Then you'll understand Star Wars.
All I'm saying, and I think everybody would agree with me.
Nobody's gonna agree with
The
me.
Star Wars fans out there will agree with me. 1, 2, and 3 sucked. Okay, 4, 5, and 6 were great. 7, 8, and 9, I think were good too. Okay, so if you want to see,
too, that's
you've seen 4, 5, and 6.
review.
So I'm saying watch 7, 8, and 9, and and then come back and say I don't like Star Wars.
All right, so 3, 4, and 5.
Right, which you've seen already.
I've seen those. I mean, I haven't watched those in 40 years.
Right, it's actually 4, 5, and 6. But you've
4,
seen
5,
those.
6.
You've
I
seen
saw
those.
them a long
Okay,
time ago,
so
yeah.
then watch 7, 8, and 9.
And then watch 7, 8, and 9. So then 1, 2, and 3. If I watch them, cool. If I don't, it doesn't even matter.
No, because you kind of already know what's going on by the time you've seen 4, 5, and 6, and you could just follow that. 1, 2, and 3 to me were garbage.
Right. Okay. All right.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But now again, I can't compare it to Star Trek.
Star Wars
To
is
me,
greatly overrated. Somebody just wrote it.
well, you could say that, but it still is one of the top sci-fi movies of all time. Okay, which is and if you look at it as a sci-fi movie, it's actually one of the biggest sci-fi movies of all time. It is.
Oh, that I'm not doubting that. Yeah, it's just not
Okay.
good.
Now, the Star Trek universe.
Yeah.
In total, even though Star Trek from 2000 on to me sucks, but if you go from Star Trek from the 60s all the way to 2000,
right?
To me, there's nothing that compares to that.
Let's look at. So I start middle of episode 5. No. So if I go to let's talk about Star Trek for a second here.
Yes.
The chronological, well, what the current stuff, right? Because does the current, there's a question for you. People here are saying that you should go to jail for that.
Get in line.
Go to prison for this. No, is the 1, 2, and 3 Star Wars
yes
as bad as the Star Trek that came after the 2000s? I thought that might be a good question for you.
That is a good question. Well, are you saying okay? But now we have to drill down. Do you mean the episodes, like the shows, or do you mean the movies? The movies.
Listen to me closely, okay? Android.
50 years of this, my friends. By the way,
listen to me closely. 1, 2, and 3 Star Wars.
Yes.
As a whole, right? Compared to Star Trek 2000 past 2000 as a whole, better or worse? You can take 3. Take 3 films or 3 series, whatever 3 things that you want. Take I don't know what's
okay, I can answer this.
Answer it.
Worse. So 1, 2, and 3 Star Wars is worse than Star Trek in the 2000s. And I'm not a fan of Star Trek in the 2000s.
Wow.
Okay. But I'll even say, and this is a big thing for me, Star Trek 1, the motion picture, was way better than Star Wars 1, 2, or 3.
Oh my God.
That's how bad I think they were. And that was Steven Spielberg screwed those things up big time.
Wow.
But this is why I'm saying that don't watch those. Watch the later ones that J.J. Abrams was involved
Right,
with.
right.
That I think he did a nice job in kind of,
Piecing them together.
correct.
Yeah.
So
Somebody says, what's it pronounced? Pen,
Rurapente.
Rura Pente Pinot Conde. They said you should be sent there. They said he needs to be sent. But here's an interesting thing: Star Wars would not even exist if it were not for Star Trek.
True, but
Do you think that's true?
no, listen. I think
They
that's
use the
partly
same
true,
word
but
star.
let's look at this. Star Trek movies would probably not exist if it wasn't for the first Star Wars.
That's good. So they both fed each other when you really think about it.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah. She's this person. She's definitely a Trekkie through and through. She said.
Listen, I'm Trek is
So,
number one for me.
so
Okay,
it's Star Trek. Don't worry, you're not going to go to
no. But what I want them to understand that I'm old enough to have seen Star Trek 2: The Wrath of Khan in the movies.
Right. He's yeah, no, he loves Star Trek. He's Star Trek more than Star Trek came first before Star Wars. That is true. But George's point is that Star Trek came first, and then Star Wars, as a result of Star Trek, of the success of Star Trek, Star Wars kind of developed and became a thing. And then I think, what's his name? George Lucas was very much into the vision of space, right? That was number one. But what he's saying, George, not me, George is saying this, George Batista, he's saying that the films, the Star Trek films, like the first film wouldn't have come, which I don't think is true. I think Space Odyssey, 2000, I think that film was the reason why Star Trek was made, not Star Wars. I think Star Wars was great, but it was great within its own thing. It was a huge movie, but Space Odyssey was another huge movie, but it was slow moving.
Yes, okay,
And it was
but remember,
cinematically
okay, but when you
appealing.
want to talk the popularity of the movies, and you and I went into this in one episode, by the way, Star Wars as a franchise is bigger with people in terms of who are, in other words, like Star Trek is a niche, right? You're not going to find a lot of people out there that love Star Trek except for the really diehard Trekkies.
Right.
Whereas you're going to find more people who love sci-fi who love Star Wars. You know what I'm saying? Because they love sci-fi.
They love sci-fi.
Right? Because Star Wars is an action thing. It's from beginning to end. It's action. Star Trek is more a slower pace, cerebral type of thing. Now, again, I
We've
love
talked
it.
about this before in the past.
Yes, we have.
I've always won. But here's the thing.
Okay.
Star Trek, to be fair, and I've said this in the past too, to be fair to Star Wars was a single film. Star Trek was allowed for the characters to flesh out,
to develop. Correct. Agreed.
To have personalities where people understand the personalities, and I think that really gave Star Trek the bite that it needed for people to really get all in on it because they understood the characters. Star Wars was an action-packed thing that was adventurous, and it was just a very awesome thing. So no, Star Trek is the standard. Star Wars tech came to Gene Roddenberry's writing. Came from Gene Roddenberry's writing. Oh, is that true? Probably.
Star Wars tech came from Gene Roddenberry's writing. Well, again, you're going back to Gene Roddenberry, who was doing it before any of that.
That's true.
So
I think Gene
that,
Roddenberry had a lot to do with probably all these things that we're talking about.
Well, he did. He did. I mean, but there was other shows, right? Remember, like Space 1999, right? And Lost in Space, Battlestar Galactica, all these shows that were out that were sci-fi shows.
Gilligan's Island. But when we look at Barney Miller was like Did you say Barney Miller?
Yes, I did.
Oh, okay. I repeated you because I didn't hear you say it. I think you said something else, and then I was going to say Barney Miller, but we both said Barney Miller.
Sick.
Thanks for the hearts. I appreciate it. Star Wars was never about sci-fi. It was reimagining current politics, even in the 70s.
Interesting.
Yeah,
That's an interesting take on that.
There might be some truth to that.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, Star Trek kind of did that too, though.
Yeah.
Right? Star Trek took whatever was going on at the time. If you go back to the 60s,
that is true.
Right? And they talked about things that were actually happening. You know, they just wove it into the Star Trek universe.
Yeah. Wow.
But
we got about 10 minutes here, and
so all right.
I really got to go to the bathroom.
Oh, come on, man. So okay. So what do you want to do here? Do you want to mess around with YouTube again?
Yes, but with real predicted science. She's hearing you, so she's answering.
Oh,
but with real predicted science. Oh yeah.
Yes,
that is true. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So my question is, okay. So what is our answer? Are we going to try it again?
I think.
Or go back to counterparts?
I think the counterparts thing would be our final attempt. If we do a whole new YouTube channel.
Oh my God.
And by the way, folks, these things take time.
Yes.
George does the channel. He sets up the email. Then I do all the graphics stuff. I do the show. We do the research. And then we get our first episode. I download images that I need for whatever we're doing. It takes a lot of time to put these things together. So if we're going to do it, we're going to try it again. We're going to try it with our counterparts.
Episode. Okay, so let me explain something to everyone out there, including you, Mr. Soto. We have currently a YouTube channel called The Counterpart Show. And we can just use that channel to start doing the Star Trek stuff.
Again.
Yeah,
because it's already out.
Now, we have a lot of interviews on there, but we also have Star Trek stuff on there.
Yeah.
So why don't we just use that?
Yeah, I'd say let's do that. Yeah, that's true. We don't even have to start anything new.
Yeah, it's already exists.
Do you have the all the stuff for it?
I have to check to see which email we used on this, but so I'll go in and I'll take a look at that.
I want to talk more about this, but I got to use about talk.
Really?
Yeah. I'm
okay.
I'm gonna put a pressure here.
Go ahead.
Oh wait, what are
you doing?
I thought it would only be mine that would just say "be right back."
No, it's the whole thing.
I didn't know it would be all of them. All right,
John. He's such an amateur, I swear.
I'm just new to this. I'm used to a starship overnight shift.
I told him to pee before he went onto the show, and of course he doesn't listen to me. So those of you who don't know, John is my cousin, and we grew up together. So this is why we have this kind of rapport. And him and I used to watch Star Trek as kids, and of course we didn't watch Star Wars because he didn't get into it. But we watched Star Trek, and we watched all these things, and we played music together, and we just did a lot of crazy stuff growing up. So we can pretty much say anything to each other and flip each other off, and just have that type of relationship. It's kind of like brothers. Even though I don't have any brothers, he does, but I'm an only child, so he's kind of like the closest thing to my brother. And this is why sometimes I want to strangle him. But again, it's all good, family, Anyway, so going back to the channel thing, so we have this counterparts channel, and so we're going to try to use that, and I'll try to set that up. And for those of you who are interested and are into Star Trek and want to follow that, I'll put it together, and then we can try that. And hopefully that won't get taken down. And if it does, well, then that's pretty much it. Those of you who like health and fitness or anything like that, check out my show, The Wellness Talk. It's on YouTube as well. It's on Rumble, and it's on all Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all that type of stuff. I'm on 351 episodes right now. So it's a lot of content there. It's a lot of information. It's good stuff. So anyway, that's that. How's everybody out there doing? All right. Oh, here he comes.
Thank you.
I entertained everyone, John.
Did you? What you do? Juggle?
Yes, I did.
Does Mr. Batista have a TikTok page? Do you have a TikTok page, George?
I do not. I'm on Instagram and Facebook, and
He's on
and
Instagram, Facebook,
Facebook, and georgebatista.com is my
georgebatista.com.
main website.
Yeah. Saying, "Are you okay? Who hurt you?"
I was telling them that you're like kind of like my brother because I was an only child.
Yeah.
And so we grew up together and all this. So.
Oh, cool. He said, "Well, but I'm giving Mr. Batista some serious side eye." He's like,
"You wouldn't be the first."
I love it. No, so I think if we did that with the counterparts page, I think that'd be actually a really cool thing to try to do.
Yes.
This way we test the waters out, and we get to do something that we like to do ourselves anyway. And I'll still always be doing my show anyway. You'll still be doing your show.
Mm-hmm.
We just do this joint thing that we used to do before, and now we just do it again.
I agree.
So
I think we'll definitely try that.
All right, folks. Well, there you go. That's we did this episode.
Sit on this, John.
I just love the way she looks away after she says out of herself. Oh God! So I've been drinking lemon water, and
it's making you go pee a lot.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a bad thing. That's good.
But I usually drink coffee when I'm sitting here, so I'll drink a whole cup of coffee when I'm sitting here, and I don't have to go.
Well, let me ask you a question. So, if you go to sleep tonight, are you going to be peeing all night now?
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, because I'm not going to drink. Probably this is it. I'll stop this. I have 3 bottles. I have 3 bottles like this. I have one with lemon water, one with water, all filtered water, of course, and with water with apple cider vinegar.
Nice.
And then I have another one that's just plain filtered water.
What do you drink first thing in the morning?
The lemon water. I drink lemon water in the morning, or apple cider vinegar.
Nice. Okay.
So I'll just take I have one of these, so I'll take like a big drink, and that actually just really relaxes me and stuff like that. So
that's good. At least it'll clean you out.
No, it relaxes me. That's why I say that.
See,
I was so relaxed.
First thing in the morning when I get up. See, I'm very much like you. First thing in the morning, I get up, I drink a Pepsi.
I drink the blood.
A Pepsi.
You drink a Pepsi. You couldn't even get it out.
Oh, comedian I am not.
Yeah.
No, I'm actually been really big on coconut water a lot lately. I found an organic one, and it's actually really, really good.
I found one in Costco, an organic coconut water in Costco. It was very, really good, and it comes in like more of these little thin bottles, like this,
right?
And there's like 6 of them there from Costco. Very good stuff. As you guys can see, this show goes.
We'll go anywhere.
we go from Star Trek to relaxes me to George's coconut water.
It's great after workouts, by the way.
Yeah, because it's actually nature is unbelievable. Think about it for a second. I mean, the thing that actually replenishes you better than anything on Earth, electrolytes.
Correct.
Is coconut water.
Yeah.
And where do you find coconut water? In the Caribbean, where the coconuts are. That's where you need it the most. I mean, it's amazing that it actually worked out that way.
It's unbelievable.
So, hold on, I gotta pee more.
Why don't you just pee into the jar?
I didn't know I haven't already. Sorry, folks. That was gross. You guys are.
Welcome to our sense of humor, folks.
We're all adults here. We can take it. Yeah, welcome to the insanity. Anyway, I want to thank you all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all very much. We're gonna start this again. We'll be back here. We do have some guests though that we have to do on the John Henry Social before we do the counterparts thing, because I have to tell George. George doesn't even know. But we have 2 guests that are for
thanks, John.
Yeah, end of March. and then I think in April we have some other guests, and I'm trying to get Lee Haney back again. I'm trying
Nice. That'll be cool.
Nathan East.
Oh,
I'm hoping that'd be an awesome interview.
Tom Cruise.
Yeah, that could happen too. That could happen. But yeah, we'll definitely keep everybody posted on our new venture, and we want to thank you all for participating. Thank you, Hook, for participating. I appreciate you, and appreciate everybody there on the page and everyone here watching. Thank you so much. We will see you all next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Central. As always, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. God bless you all. George, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
And as always, peace.
Peace.